Welcome to the Midium.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Cam, one of the co-owners of the Midium, where we sell and showcase carefully curated electronic musical instruments. Today we feature an interview that we did with Piotr Raczyński of Polyend, and he walks us through some of the history of Polyend as well as the backstory to the Polyend play. We hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for joining us.
Well, good morning everybody. We're at day 2 of NAMM. We are here today with Polyend and the founder Piotr Raczyński. Raczyński?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Perfect. Perfect. All those years of college paid off, I guess.
Right.
So we're here with Piotr Raczyński, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the Polyend brand and the origin story. And then we're also going to learn about their brand new Polyend play, which is really, really exciting. Good morning, Piotr. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Excellent, but improving, as I used to say.
Right. No, fantastic. Just to get started, kind of wanted to learn a little bit about the history of Polyend. When did you begin, and what was the motivation behind getting the company started?
Sure. The main thing is that was to scratch the itch I always had. Like, I went to those kind of NAMM of Europe, which was what was his name? Cesare. Music Messe in Frankfurt. Back in the days, it was a thing. And I was just going there as a, a geek of music gear, and I was like seeing things, and I said like, oh, this thing needs more tech, this thing needs more items. I could, figure out some ideas about it. That was a dream to be one of these companies, to become a company that produces things for musicians. So that's kind of how it started. We had this idea. I work for the company that produces factories, and the factory was building this equipment that talks one to each other in a sequence. So programmers for the sequence is kind of robots, arms. That was a cheese factory. So you pour milk in one side, and kilometer away you get like slice of cheeses, everything automated. And then I was like wandering around, and some idea popped into my mind, like, this is all sequence, it's kind of musical. Why don't we just take these ideas and put them into acoustic instruments? And that was like the premise of the Perk, the drumming machine, our first product. And this is how we started. Out of the Perk, we had this idea that we need to power it with some sequencing power, right? And all the sequencers are so complicated, are small, are not convenient. How about we make the biggest one and the most convenient one, and we call it SEC or SIG. And then, this is how it started to become a thing.
It's amazing how you were inspired by a factory, like machines. I guess you heard the musicality of the machines in the facility that you were talking about?
That's right, and also I knew that there are artists like Square Pusher or Aphex Twin who were using kind of robotic things for their musical aspects. So I thought, maybe if we could take this idea and make them product, which is the most challenging thing, The idea is easy, the prototype is fairly easy, then convert this prototype into manufacturable, marketable thing, that's the huge part of the business.
You mentioned the Perk. That was the first thing that caught my eye.
Oh, really?
Of all of your inventions.
Right.
It's a fascinating thing. Do you think you'll ever release maybe another version?
We would love to. We like to call it a marketing product because it opens so many eyes and so many doors, and it's like very easy to make people say wow. So especially for this type of scenarios, just people passing by and seeing that something is doing like drum and bass without a drummer. That was like, oh wow, when I can get it. And then it seems like the market is very narrow. So we decided to just postpone the next version once we can afford it, because it will always probably be a marketing product. because it needs to. It's fairly hard to manufacture, fairly expensive to manufacture. So unless it's like $100 a piece, it's not gonna be a very popular thing.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And is part of the ethos or the idea for Polyend, did it also come out of your own background as a musician? Do you make music? And if so, where could the rest of us hear it?
Right. So I do music. I'm kind of shy showing it to people. Although I have my Bandcamp account. It's Panra, Panra. And we are making the devices that we like. So of course we hear what people are saying, but it's hard to please everyone. We're trying to please ourselves, and if we manage to do it, we just believe that other people will get it. There are plenty of musicians. Cesare here is also we started to play in a band. He was teaching me how to play guitar, so we like know each other from back in the day. There is like two session drummers, two session drummers, very good ones in our factory. There is two bassists, a vocalist. We could make huge gig here probably. So yeah, that's like we always are brainstorming internally and just trying to do whatever suits us best. And then over the time, sometimes we need to adjust our ideas to the market if there is a necessity, or sometimes we say no, or we say no to a lot of people who are willing this to be like Electron, like Yamaha, and we say no, just go for Electron, Yamaha. Those are amazing devices. This is different. You like it or not?
I'm glad you brought up the play. So please tell us a little more about the inspiration behind it. Some of the features and how it works, but most of all, the nexus of the project, like how it started, and what the benefits are to musicians. How will it enhance their experience?
Sure. So after making Medusa with Dreadbox guys, the story is that we met together, and they gave us a list of things that they could do on their side, like analog side, and then we make this huge list of things that we could do on our side, and we were kind of showing off to each other. And then we met, and what parts of this list should we implement, and we decided to make it all in. And that was very good choice, but you know how it goes then. It overcomplicated so many things. But on top of that, we knew that we would like to make our groove box in form of the tracker. And tracker, by its form, it's kind of complicated. So we've already done those two complicated devices, and this is the time where we wanted to make something that is very straightforward and first of all fun, because making music should be fun and should be for everyone. Tracker, you have to work a little bit. We call it not a DAW, but SAW. SAW meaning standalone audio workstation. There is work word inside this phrase. We didn't put sampling here, although they are serving the same purpose, which I will talk about in a sec. But for example, we say, let's get rid of those things that are work, like sampling is, trimming, working on that. It's not making music. It's let's get rid of all those things that are not fun. Yeah, so this device is a standalone groove box that is both audio and MIDI. It does not have any synthesizer, and as I mentioned, it does not do sampling, but it's great of what it does. Right? So you've got. Let me handle it here.
Yeah, and by the way, the fact that you're mentioning the concept that there are instruments that involve some work, and then the transition, the next step for you was, let's focus on the fun side of it.
Yeah.
And then to name it Play. Great choice.
The Play name is thanks to Bogdan Raczyński. We have the same surname, but we are not related, unfortunately. Bogdan is a amazing musician. From the Reflex label. and so he's always like helping us with the names. Play is just perfect because you just hit play, and that was like the premise of this device from the very beginning. We have this like huge saying on the whiteboard: play is fun. And whenever we think about new features, we just look at this board and say, is it fun? It is, let's do it. Is it fun? If it's not fun, then just get rid of it. And we said no to many times.
Yeah.
Probably more than we said yes to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you would like to walk us through some of the functions, introduce how it is that someone would make a song with it, because you said there's no sampling, but it does have a synthesizer in it, or it does
It
not?
does not. It does not. It utilizes the samples, but you don't have to carry about those because we give you almost 40 very nice sounding curated genre-based sample packs. So you just load like a hip-hop, lo-fi hip-hop pack, and then you start making lo-fi hip-hop if it's your thing, right? Or you can mix your lo-fi hip-hop keys with techno basses. It's also doable. It's also, everything is included inside. If you would like to include your sounds, you can do it, but just unpack it and start having fun immediately.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what the play does.
Yeah, I'll start with the. That's not a part of the package.
No, it's not.
I'm starting with the empty canvas. So this is the pattern, and then I'm like populating the steps here. I can do it like this randomly. It's very good for making those random ideas. But if I were to start like properly, I will just pick a sound. Maybe I'll just get we could be able to hear it a little bit. Let me see.
Sure.
It's gonna be way easier to.
Everyone, please note that because the audio would be coming in from the mic, it's not the same as if it was going in straight. So naturally, the audio quality would be very clear if we were going straight into the audio interface. So please note.
This is gonna give me rather like a preview of what I'm doing than the proper audio showcase, right?
Sure.
So what we want to do, maybe I'll just turn it down a little bit. What we want to do with play, first thing we say pick and place. So pick your sound, and I've got them divided into folders. I'll go for kick, and then just populate the kick. Let's see what's the tempo. Yeah, it's kind of hip hop territory. So what I would like to start with is something what we call pick and place. So those are touch sensitive knobs, and I'm picking samples. They are divided into different folders. So let's start with kick, and I'll just do this maybe, and then I'll go for snare and probably some hi-hats. Let's see what we have here. Right, so it took me like 10 seconds to start making the beat. There's even faster way when you select 3 rows. Those are the tracks, and I've got 8 tracks of audio, by the way, and if it's purple, it's 8 tracks of MIDI. Whatever I'll show you on the audio part is exactly the same in the MIDI part, so you can like sequence 16 steps at the same time, right?
Gotcha.
So you select 3 tracks, go to fill, and there is this fill function where it allows the user to pick up the genres we pre-program kind of, and then when you hit fill, it populates this like kind of pre-programmed beat for you. And then whenever I hit fill once again, it will randomly pick the samples from the sample pool, and it gets the kicks from the kick folder, snare from the snare folder, and hi-hats from the hi-hats, right? Okay, I like this one, but I do not like the sound. Alright, it's nice and mellow. And now I'll go for some melodic parts, so I'll go to, let's go for some Prophet. And for this one, I'm gonna just detune it. And then I'll just pick up another one. I'm doing it randomly, so it might not work, but let's see. Right, so it immediately gives me some kind of idea where I can push it forward from this. So what I would like to do is just go here to the patterns, and you see the collection of patterns here. I can just utilize this one I've just created and then duplicate it to different slots and then have different variations of it. So like this is my first variation, but for the second I will just switch the notes like -5 and maybe just change the samples and do some reverb like randomly and see.
Nice.
Right, so I did it blindly almost, but it produces, because of its nature, it produces the musical output all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm having fun constantly, and you know, there is not much to it to learn those things. Just pick and place. Another step would be to select and then adjust. So maybe I don't like this one, so I'll just hold shift and then select the step like one by one and then adjust the volume, panning and whatnot. Or I can select like the blocks and then just trigger panning to the left and right, you know, if it makes sense.
So you can batch edit.
You can batch edit, exactly.
That's fantastic.
And then maybe I'll just copy this one, go here, select everything, and then detune it +12 to make an effect. Go for a high pass cutoff, loads of reverb, and then I've got like 4 different variations of my song, of my pattern. And if there are neighbors to the pattern I'm creating, I can go to the song mode, so they are like chained. If I go this one, hit shift, it will advance to the next one.
So your song mode is essentially like a pattern chain or a loop chain function.
Exactly, and then you can have different chains here and there, or you can have one big chain of one big structure of song, right?
Do you feel like that approach is more flexible than a traditional song mode?
Definitely, it's also you can approach it from different angles. Like one, I like to make my intro here and then the chorus here, outro there. There are people who prefer doing it the other way around, and this is like one of the examples here. The another is like, for example, I like touching the knob and then using the encoder because it has dead ends to adjust. The others like to just touch this one and utilize it like immediately, right? So there is more, it's more fluid, so to say. So we created this duality. Like for example, here I can double tap to go lower part and the upper part because every knob is 2 things, right? Sample and folder. But I can also utilize the screen buttons to do so. So we kind of opened it to many workflows. So whatever suits you, whatever is best for you, it's probably one of the things, right? It's not the only path. And I feel that this is the best way of creating the hardware things, because we already feel that I am doing like something like this. So it's changing from up to down. So I just, I do not use it, I will use this one, right? But my friends are constantly using double tap. It means that, you know, not everyone is the same. It's good to give the flexibility in the workflow too.
Absolutely, yeah, because everybody has different ways of working. That makes perfect sense. And in terms of the MIDI side, so when we're talking about inputting MIDI information into each one of these steps, or each one of these pads, does the MIDI information affect just about any parameter? Can you choose a parameter in the system, set one setting for one pad and then maybe a different setting for other pads? Like what other manufacturers have certain terms for that?
We went even deeper because you can set any channel, like you've got the jack channel, meaning the MIDI jack, or USB channels are here, right? So every step can have different channel, right? And you know, it's not stuck to one lane. It can be different channels within one lane, so it's very flexible. And then you've got, if I'm like playing with the channel number 2, we've got chords, we've got notes, everything is like MIDI related. It's velocity, not volume anymore. And those are the CCs, right? So for example, if I would like my channel number 1 to have CC number 74 under the cutoff, and my, I don't know, my synthesizer in channel number 10 utilizes different thing for channel, I'll go to my menu, MIDI menu, see CC mapping, and I go to channel number 10 and say, hey, cutoff for this should be like 70. So when you see me like dialing here, sorry, the cutoff here, it's 71, right? But here it's 74, so you can set it up so it suits your setup, and it's very, very flexible in terms of how you could set it up.
Yeah.
But to make it even easier, because it's all about fun, this was not fun, we're gonna provide tons of presets for that. So you can say channel number 1 is my Prophet 6, so the system will know that the cutoff is already there, right? It's 74, it's dialed in.
That saves so much time. Because
Oh, yeah.
creating your own mappings, and you have to go to the charts and the manuals and write it all down.
We
That's
already
a great idea.
We already have all, thanks to our friends from ExpressEV company, we got the mappings for tons of hardware and software instruments. So it's just a matter of us implementing it inside the system. But yeah, we're getting there.
No, this idea, even to set it within the system, is fantastic. Because there are going to be people who want to sequence any number of synthesizers with the plane.
That's right, that's right. There's, apart from the mode of MIDI and audio, there is also the performing thing. And what it does, it allows you to play with the selected tracks on the fly, and then when you get back to, get out from the performance mode, you get back to your original composition. So you're always on the safe side. If you screw something up, you can just click perform and get back to it.
Okay.
Like, I'll go to perform. Like, let me screw something like totally.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm back.
Nice.
You cannot hear it properly because this is not the best way to audition that, but it's so much fun. And then everything I'm doing is like a fluid, it's instant. But it's sometimes not fun to have like -1, -2, -3 in terms of notes or the tuning. That's why we made those presets, right? So here we've got plenty of these presets for the tuning, for the cutoff. Like let's select everything, and then right, those are the cutoff.
So it's almost like different steps.
And you can like hold it and release it, right? Or you can just
How did you lock that? That's
the system knows when you click and when you hold. It's just like this is a click and this is a hold, and that's it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and each color is a different thing. Like we've got overdrive here, we've got the reorganizer. This is cool because it reorganizes what you already have on the, like, where am I? Here. Once again, you've got your thing set up, and then it can reorganize how the playhead will go.
Okay.
I'll show you on this example. So it can go forward, it can go reverse, it can go in many different directions. Like I will just dial in some random things, and you see
It's actually quite fun to look at, even. The patterns are fun to look at.
oh yeah. And it creates like different variation just within 2 clicks, or if you're in performance, it's 1 click away. So if I load something new and just select let's solo the drums, and then let's hear a new variation, right? Just a
Yeah.
click away.
This is great for live.
And it's very, well, that's why we call it perform mode.
Yeah.
And it's very cool for making transitions, like, and boom, right, back to the original state.
Yeah. So I remember something that I saw in the description was that you can power it from a power bank.
Oh yeah,
For
sure.
mobile musicians. What kind of a power bank do you recommend?
The standard bigger one is like 20,000 milliampere watts, and it gives you 28 hours to operate the play, so it's not bad, I suppose. The smaller ones work too, so actually any. It's very low on power, and it's also nice form factor, so you can like put it on your lap
Yeah.
and utilize this thing or headphones, sat on couch or go to the woods and then play there.
Yeah, this is perfect for a long flight even.
That's correct.
I'm sure you enjoyed this quite a bit coming from Poland all the way out to California, huh?
That was, actually, that was a great time to read a book and just have a rest from this thing for a while. We've just been in a super booth show in Berlin, so we were like, okay, we need to rest our heads from the whole shenanigan, and yeah, but we are back on track and fresh.
That's fantastic, Piotr. We're really glad to hear that everything's going swimmingly with the play, and I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people by saying that, I'm excited about this.
Awesome. Well,
Great idea.
we are even more excited to see what you're gonna do with that, because this is like the most impressive thing for us to see what amazing users are doing with like pushing it to the limit or making things that we've never thought they will do. That was the case with the tracker, and now once we get it to your hands and to the others, I hope it will also happen. I'm sure it will happen. So that's like, I'm excited.
Absolutely. And when do you think we'll be able to get it into artists' hands, and what's going to be the MAP?
The MAP is easier answer. It's $7.99.
Okay.
And the first production batch we've already sold out and sending it to the distributors and the shops just now. So it should be like 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Something like this. And then when you go to our website or to the other shops and pre-order it, the next batch should be ready for September.
Outstanding. Well, that's great news.
Yeah,
Well, my friend, thank you so much for your time.
my pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you, and best of luck to you guys with the play and everything you guys do from here on.
Thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. Again, we're here on the second day of NAMM. We just had a nice conversation with Piotr Raczyński of Polyend.
Nailed it once again.
Yes,
Nice.
yes. I try. And thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.
Until next time.